Good evening. This is a regular City Commission meeting for the City of Largo. Today is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask that if you have a cell phone, please turn it to silent or off so that we don't have any interruptions. We're going to start this evening's meeting with an invocation given by Pastor Oliver King from Restoration Ministries of Largo, and then if you could please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. Let us pray. Lord God, we thank you tonight, God, for your grace. God, we thank you for your mercy. God, we thank you for another day, God, that you've made. Father, we thank you for watching over us, Father God, through the storm, through the trials and tribulations that we experience every day in our life. Father God, we just thank you for just being a keeper and watching over our families, our home, our community, our city. Father God, we come tonight, God, again, praying for the families that have experienced, Father God, tough time through last week and this week, Father. We ask for mercy, Father. We ask for strength for them. Lord God, we ask for guidance, Father God. We ask for your many blessings. Father God, we even thank you in this time, Father, for we realize it could have been worse. So we ask now for your guidance and your hand, Father God. Ask for miracles to take place in their lives. Thank you again, Lord God, for this opportunity tonight. We ask, Father, that you be a part of this meeting, Father God. We thank you for the blessings, Father God, that's over our city, our schools, our county, our government. We pray now for our leaders, Father God, our president and our country, Father. And we ask that you continue to bless us and watch over us, God. We be careful to give you the thanks and the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. The first item on the agenda is citizens' comment. If you'd like to speak about something on the agenda outside of the consent docket, please wait until the item comes up. Do we have any cards this evening?
Yes, we have 4 cards. First is Matt Faustini.
Good evening all. Matt Faustini, 1015 Lake Palms Drive, Largo. I just wanted to come in tonight and thank the city staff and the commission for the amazing work and job this team has done and this community has done through the recent storm. It's been amazing to see our city in action, and just even more so, just to give you a highlight, I'm currently attending Citizens Academy. Our parks and recs were serving as shelters for our emergency employees, and they were still able to host us on Monday and pull off Citizens Academy. So it's just an amazing Herculean effort from staff to respond in every way possible, and I really want to thank them and all of you for all of your efforts. I know a lot of long nights and dealing with this. Also, just want to say prayers for those in our Barrier Island communities. My in-laws, they live in Treasure Island. Their home is entirely gutted. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to us or the county and evacuate, and they have a horror story of getting out of their home. So I just urge anyone, if we ever have a storm, please just listen to local officials and evacuate if you're asked to evacuate. Because trust me, you don't want to go through what they went through that night, as you know, in their early 70s. And then lastly, I did want to just notice some good things. Actually, I was driving in my neighborhood, driving home, or driving to the commission meeting, and I know we've had some flooding issues on Fulton and Belcher, and it actually connects to a drainage ditch on Willow, which is near my neighborhood, and I saw Public Works out there working to install a new overflow to add more drainage into our side, which certainly can handle more water. So our staff is even being proactive in addition to responding to the storm. So we're really doing a great job. Just want to thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Tim Garten.
Hello, Tim Garten. I've been in Largo 55 years now. I choose not to give my address. So again, I'd like to say prayers for everybody who has devastation done. If nothing else, we've seen what a storm can do. We didn't take a direct hit, but we took a very close hit. Yes, we can stand up here and keep talking about flooding and things like that, but I think we need to think about the people who have been involved. Thank you, staff. Thank you, everybody, for what you've done, everything. EMS, what they've done, the emergency responders, they're working countlessly to save people, to help people, to take care of people in different situations. One thing we should also focus on is the fact of what we've seen in the storm, the electric vehicles. We saw what it could do to a house. We saw what it did over in Davis Island. If you haven't seen it, look anywhere on Facebook. Electric vehicles are probably not the way to go for the police department. As soon as the batteries get water, they catch fire, the whole house went up for some people. So maybe we should rethink that issue, maybe down the road sometime, maybe in the future, if they can figure out this whole thing to where they can combine that to where it would be more sealed and water can't get into it. That would probably help out a lot. Again, all I want to do is say thank you to everybody up here for everything you guys done, everything the city has done, the citizens have done, all the workers still out there trying to pick up debris, everything. I'm all over Largo's, and I see debris stacked up. People's houses, all their belongings are stacked up outside, and Largo's doing a great job trying to take care of this and get all the stuff picked up and get it out of the streets so that we don't have further backups in the streets and further problems in the streets. And thank God we didn't get a lot of rain on this one. If we did, that would have been a major issue. I did see where Largo is now cleaning up the ditches and taking care of them and getting them opened up for everybody. That's good. Best thing to do is get this water flowing, get it out of here. The next storm coming, hopefully it doesn't hit us. We don't know yet. So thank you very much for everything you guys do. Appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Next speaker is Craig Murtha.
Craig Murtha, Largo. I've got this little app on my phone. It's called My Elevation. You can tell you the elevation anywhere you're at. And right here in this room, we're at 13 feet. I think further out towards the creek or the canal, it's considerably lower. I don't know, 8, 9 feet. I know at least standing in the street, I was at 8 feet. I checked that. And compared to downtown Largo, which is 50, 60, 70 feet, I think the new city hall is about 70 feet above sea level, according to My Elevation app. It's a great app. If anybody doesn't have it, you should get it on your phone because it's really amazing. You just drive along and watch the numbers go up and down and really get an idea of how the topography is in the county. Recently they came out, the city of Clearwater said that we were going to have 8 feet of sea level rise by 2100. That's 70 years out. There's a lot of children alive today that will see that. And I think about some of these low-lying areas in Largo and why we should be, I just don't wonder why it's a good idea to build on them. Because say if you got this place, if it's 13 feet, if you get 8 feet of sea level rise, it's going to put us at 5 feet. That storm we had was around 100 miles off the coast. If we ever got a Cat 5 come in here and it came right into the bay, water could come from Tampa Bay all the way to here. And plus it's going to come through all of the creeks. We probably have a dozen creeks in the county. All of the creeks could rise 20 feet. I mean, we just got lucky. It was fast moving too. If you had a slow moving storm that moved a wall of water into Tampa Bay, filled all of the creeks, half of this county would go underwater. I mean, it would be catastrophic. It would be like nothing the country has ever seen before. I think you had something like 161 people died just in Ian, when Ian came ashore. And we got lucky this storm came ashore in a very rural area. I think 1,392 people died during Katrina. So, I know we want to use land, but maybe we should be thinking about moving some of this density up onto the ridge. We got this amazing ridge here in Largo. In Pinellas County in general, we got this ridge that kind of meanders through most of northern Pinellas County. And then down in St. Petersburg, they've got a big round area that's high. There's low areas throughout all of that. So, there's lots of low areas in St. Pete and throughout northern Pinellas. But we have these two places, and we should be thinking about this as a countywide thing. We should all be moving towards that. And we also have to think about evacuation. The people on the beach have money. They could evacuate, or a lot of them do. But 40% of the people in Largo are food insecure. When you tell them to move, when you tell them to evacuate, that's just not going to happen. We are going to have a huge body count if the Cat 5 ever comes into Largo, into Pinellas County, into Tampa Bay. And I don't think it's worth it. We should be downzoning some of that area, making maybe townhomes that are built up, so you have mostly parking underneath. So, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Mark Clutho.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Well, the problem with the electric vehicles, you don't have them in a floodplain. It's so very simple. And, I go by that new building of yours, and I see that glazing from floor to ceiling. Sick. Just simply sick. Yeah, don't shake your head. That's what's fueling those hurricanes. That is what is fueling the hurricanes, belching the carbon and giving us these charlatans that are renegades of Silicon Valley, polluting the sky to save the planet, sending balloons with sulfur dioxide, thinking they're going to do something. Oh man, it's bad, it's bad. There's the graph. There's the graph. The temperatures, and it's the headline here, even as climate risk rise, short-term thinking prevails. And then down in the Everglades, this tree extinct because of sea level rise. And then the headline reads, want to see coral reefs grow? You have to freeze them. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? And then the headline reads, world breaks hottest day record again. Oh, it's something that you people, you're complicit in all this. You just don't think. Just ignoring science. High performance passive solar building. A straightforward proposition. You keep making asinine buildings, and then you get these hurricanes like Helene. It won't be the last one. And that one didn't even hit us. Oh, what a commentary.
Thank you.
That's all the cards.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is approval of tonight's agenda. I would like to suggest that we, I know that in the past we've eliminated permit fees for storm-related work, and I'd like to consider that as part of the agenda, possibly to direct staff to bring a resolution and start eliminating fees for storm-related work, like fences and roofing repairs and that type of stuff. So I need a motion to amend the agenda to add that, maybe as item number 34.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
But I would like to pull 25.
So who seconded the motion?
Chris Johnson.
So second, okay with the?
Yes.
Okay, pulling 25. Very good. So motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Any opposed? That's what I thought. Next is approval of minutes from the regular meeting of September 17th, 2024.
So moved. So move.
Second.
Any changes or corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, we'll hear a staff report concerning the storm response from the police, public works, and fire. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just come to provide some indication on some of the response from the police department during the storm. Personally, I've been in Pinellas County for my entire life with the police department for many hurricanes, and like others have indicated, it's definitely one for the record books. I know some of you all were impacted, as were some of our team members and a lot of the community. We had about 8 team members that were affected from the police department, all the way up to losing everything that they had in their homes, including their vehicles. But again, unlike or similar to some of the people in the community. In preparation for the storm, the police department coordinated with streets and stormwater to develop a coordinated response for high water rescue. We've noticed in the past few storms that seems to be a common theme, that we're going into some of the evacuated areas and the low-lying areas to evacuate people that did not evacuate on their own, or just to do high water rescues. So we kind of worked with them to see what kind of vehicles they had and some of the boats that they had. The partnership worked really well. When the storm hit, they were operating the vehicles. They got us into the areas, and we did at least 10 rescues. Probably more of the 10 rescues were the ones that we could count, but the other ones occurred as they were either pulling somebody out of a house that was flooded, and a neighbor would say, "Help me too." So they would just kind of pile on. We'd get them out and get them to a shelter. So it was a successful venture, one in which I think we're going to improve upon and probably become part of our normal operations during these type of incidents. In addition, we were shelter security at the high school and for the 2 city shelters until they got combined down to 1. Once the storm was activated, or once the storm was, there was a declaration in reference to the storm, we issued evacuation orders throughout Zone A in the city. Now, on Thursday morning, which is when the EOC opened at 0700 hours, the police department also went on split platoons where we were working 12-hour shifts. Typically, we do this so we can split the number of officers up and the number of employees, so we have the most amount of people on the road at any one time, just trying to increase our capacity to be able to be out in the community and be seen. And that's kind of our role when a storm comes, is to be seen in the community, provide that sense of security, and to provide security, but also just to keep the community, to let the community know that we're out there, especially when power outages occur, down trees and lines like that. I think it's calming when they see officers in the area. Within the 30 hours that the storm was in effect, we had 514 calls for service, which is a large number of calls for service. As the storm cleared, we helped with doing a damage assessment throughout the city, just trying to find those areas where there were down power lines, down trees, and flooded homes. We reported that to the EOC, and since then we have efforts. You can see it on our social media, and I think some of the other posts that have been around, where a lot of the team members have either gotten together on their own to help community members or team members either clearing trees with chainsaws, clearing the debris from their homes. So it's been a team effort, and I think we've done really well. And additionally, the final thing I'll say is that we are on, for the Department of Emergency Management, we are on a list to respond to any areas in the state of Florida should they need. And also locally, I think we're kind of on the list to be called here soon to help out a neighboring community. But I'll answer any questions if you have any questions about anything that happened during the storm.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions?
Chief, what's the average number of calls for assistance that we would get on a normal day?
In that time period, I'd probably say
24,
about,
30 hours.
I'd say about 250 a day would be, and that'd be 514, I think, in 30 hours. A lot of those were patrol checks and alarm calls and traffic malfunctions from malfunctioning lights, because once those intersections go down, we have to have somebody there posted so people don't crash into each other. So,
Which would require another call for assistance.
yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
How many high water rescues did you do?
There was about 10 that we coordinate with, that we have in our stats as far as calls for service. But like I said, if they were going to a house, they had somebody were rescuing somebody from the home, and then a neighbor started screaming, they would just pile on and we would take them too, so.
That's that big blue thing.
The MRAP, we were using the MRAP, we also used, I don't know what kind of truck it was, if it was a dump truck, it's a high truck with
Yeah, I know.
big tires from PW.
I saw them at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well, they were down by, yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We had visitation out in the middle of the street.
and they had a couple of their boats out there too, so, which was kind of unique, so, something new.
Good job, thank you.
Well, thank you for everything y'all did.
Yep. Thank you.
Great job.
Good evening. I'm Shelby from the Public Works and Environmental Services Department. So I will provide details on solid waste, stormwater, and wastewater, and I'll pause after each for questions. The Public Works team is maintaining regular residential cart collection, but delays may occur due to increased volume and extended wait times at the landfill. But we are excited to celebrate. We are 90% done with Monday and Tuesday routes for residential trash. That's the trash that goes in the bins. This does not include the additional waste from the storm. There's a large volume of storm debris. We have activated the interlocal agreements with Pinellas County for debris monitoring and debris management. And you can expect to see both Largo trucks and private hauling company trucks on the roads taking care of the debris. The Largo claw trucks are currently focusing on brush. The areas with whole house demolition will be the focus for the debris management contractors that come in. And we'd like to note that private contractors shall haul all waste, including yard and construction debris. So if you've hired a private contractor, they should be taking away that waste themselves. Hazardous materials and electronic items should be taken to the Pinellas County Household Hazardous Waste Collection Site, and you can refer to largo.com/storm and click on storm debris cleanup for information on how to separate waste and communications and engagement. And the Solid Waste Division coordinated on a beautiful graphic. I'm not sure you can see it. Yep. So we've posted that. Questions about our solid wastes?
Commissioner Holmes?
I read that there was some issue about taking some of the stuff to the landfill, the county landfill, that apparently there's a, if it's a city vehicle, taking it out there, you almost have priority dropping it off versus a private contractor out there. That was question one. And question two, they said that there is a rather lengthy line of vehicles trying to get in to the solid waste for the Pinellas County.
Absolutely. So for the first question, yes, we did hear today that there was so much traffic yesterday. Of course, everyone is trying to dispose of material. Pinellas County made a more organized effort at their site, and now we are streamlined in a separate line than others.
So municipality, government entities, their priority?
I don't know if it's priority. I know we're in a separate line.
Lack of grammar. I mean, it's just, you know, you've got one line for government and you've got second tier. So that is true then.
I don't want to speak for the county,
Okay.
but,
What about the line?
oh yes, the lines were incredibly long yesterday, something that would take us 45 minutes. Normally, in some cases, took 4 hours, so.
4
Yes.
hours? Oh, jeez.
Everyone's trying to do the same thing.
So I should
and
quit
get to the
yelling at
landfill.
Carson about getting my stuff picked up then. Okay,
Yes, wait for your collection at the street.
thank you.
We answered a couple of my questions already, and I have a question about brush in yards right now, and I know that you said the claw trucks are focusing on brush, and there's going to be some private haulers through the county cooperative agreement
Yes.
that may be collecting brush as well. Is that going out to the landfill, or is that going somewhere else?
So the brush from us right at this moment is going to separating facilities. Once our debris monitoring contractor has gotten started up, they will be allowing us to dispose or drop at our lot 14.
Okay.
And then it'll either be hauled from there to a different site around Florida, or it'll be chipped and then hauled.
Okay. And is that the same for like appliances and that type of stuff, or is that generally going all out to the solid waste facility?
Once we are able to use Lot 14, which is coming very soon, we will be
So
separating
it'll be
construction
separated out.
debris there too. It will be able to be dropped there, but it will be separated from just the mulching debris.
Good, and that will be available for both our crews that are still working on this, or that are working on this, as well as the folks we're contracted with, is that right?
Yes, so that area is just for, yes, City of Largo trucks and the hauler that we'll be working with. That is not for residential.
Good, and so I heard,
residents.
I heard some of the same things that Commissioner Holmes had some concerns with about private haulers, and we're telling our residents that, that if a private company comes and takes the tree down that's on your garage or whatever it is, they have to take that stuff away.
Yes.
And so you're telling me now that the dump isn't going to turn those folks away? If they're a contracted licensed person?
I don't believe so, but we
Okay.
don't operate them. They may end up in the longer line.
Understood. Okay, my biggest concern was I was under the belief that we were waiting for those contractors and not actively using our claw trucks. I understand there's a lot of work to be done, where, you know, the amount of yard waste that's typically picked up in a month is right now laying on the curbs, right? That's usually the estimate. And so it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm happy to hear that we're both using our folks when they have the capacity to do so, as well as this contractor is going to be helping us too. And once Lot 14 is up and running, it will save us from sitting in any lines out at the solid waste facility too. Very good. That takes care of my concerns. Commissioner Gerard.
Thanks, Shelby, by the way, great job, and we may be hearing about the stormwater from you in just a minute, but for the folks who may be watching or maybe watch a little bit later, can you let everybody know where the Pinellas County Household Hazardous Waste Collection Site is, if you have it right off the top of
I
your
do
head?
not.
But you can always go to
happen to have
pinellascounty.gov.
it? Oh, it's at the landfill. Okay.
Yeah.
The next driveway.
It's, yeah, I believe, like, if you were to go to the waste-to-energy plant, I think the drive to there. Okay. And electronic and hazardous household waste would include batteries and...
Yes, those are things that we don't want in our trucks. That's why they have to be taken separately. We can't just start loading up our trucks with hazardous materials.
Batteries and destroyed computers and things like that. Yeah. Take them out there yourself. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
I'll ask the mayor and the city manager, maybe even the attorney, if someone has a tree that was blown over, do they have to come and get a permit?
Oh, that's a ComDev question, I think.
Do they need to get a permit if the tree's been blown over
You mean to remove it?
to remove it?
It's probably, that is probably a question for community standards, but I don't believe so. If it's already been taken down, I think the permit.
I mean, I'm saying
Grant is for somebody to-
if the tree's been blown over,
Yeah, we typically, I believe, grant permits just to remove a tree, but the tree's already been removed by the storm, so I think you just have to cart it away.
yeah, because there's one down Kent Place right now that the tree's already been blown over. And they're talking about they need to get a permit. I believe. I don't think they need a
I
permit.
don't believe so.
Just hire a contractor
Okay.
or get out your own chainsaw.
Could we, that's a good question, could we research that and make sure that the folks that are answering the calls, asking that same question, get the same answer regardless of who talks to them? Because I think that can be a challenge in some of these situations. You know, it's there are some considerations, like was it one of your only 2 canopy trees on your site? So you might be required then to eventually plant another canopy tree, or maybe not. So I want to make sure that that information is similar regardless of who you get on the other end of the phone line. I think that's a very good point.
Yes.
I did get a shake of the head like, no, we're not going to require that.
Oh, okay.
If nature takes down your tree, that's the permanent enough, I guess.
But we will make sure, because of course, we will get that question at Public Works, so great idea to make sure we have that uniform response.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to,
Okay.
what are we at now?
Stormwater's next.
Very good.
So Chief already touched on some high water responses. The biggest impact from Hurricane Helene was caused by the storm surge. The communities with the highest impact were along Allens Creek and west of Indian Rocks Road. Streets and Stormwater did respond to 24 requests to clear roads and 17 street sign requests right after the storm. And then Stormwater had an additional 11 service requests come into ViewWorks since Friday, and we've addressed all but 7 of them. The majority of requests were street sign related, where we were required to produce new signs, so it's just taken a little bit to get those through. But yeah, Stormwater, this was absolutely different from Debbie, so. Any questions?
Any questions? Well, again, thank you, and I think Environmental Services as well, right?
It is. The treatment plant fared very well during the storm. We transitioned to generator power and avoided sanitary sewer overflows until an issue with one of our transformers caused a 12-minute power loss, resulting in 225,000 gallons of spilled water at the plant. It was actually the next day. It wasn't during the storm. That water spilled from the filter feed pump station, so it did receive partial treatment, and the treatment plant is currently back on grid power. The collection system team worked diligently to move portable generators throughout the city to pump down stations and even rebuilt electrical panels very quickly that were inundated. As a comment on our floodplain mitigation projects, 3 of the 4 floodplain mitigation stations, which included 41, 47, and 26, were inundated, so we identified those correctly. Lift Station 19 is the 4th floodplain mitigation station. It was submerged but not inundated. And then the next one on our list to address in the next round of floodplain mitigation was Lift Station 38, and it was also inundated. So the mapping was accurate. And there were no privately owned collection and transmission system overflows that were found or that were reported. So that's our POX system, if you use that acronym. Any questions about wastewater?
Thank you. You mentioned the lift stations that are on our list, and there's a couple that we've risen up out of the floodplain. How did they perform?
Well, so they're all under construction.
Okay.
So nothing has actually
So even the one
been
down by McKay Creek,
finished yet.
it was done a few years ago, but, okay, we'll talk offline.
I don't think that was raised yet. Oh, that's wet weather. Okay.
They were good.
All good.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Commissioner Holmes.
You got to give them credit for something pretty major. We didn't have any fundamental breakdown. Nobody was denied service during the whole storm, I do believe. That's correct. Unlike St. Petersburg, one of their lift stations went down, and they said it's going to be 48 hours before you can flush your toilet, take a shower, or do anything. And it may be longer than that. Well, in Largo, that didn't happen. So the money that's been spent on environmental services, kudos.
Yes, we do have pretty good coverage with the permanent generators, and then we do have a decent stock of the portable generators, and we do plan to
Oh, yeah, but see,
continue
that's the important
purchasing.
part about doing this stuff. It's like putting the reserves in your budget. You know, it's there, it worked perfectly, it worked as designed, and unlike St. Pete, where you've got, I don't know how many people were affected by that. You've got, I believe it was the I want to say the northeast corner of the city, where that whole big station went down. And it was just, I can't imagine that, just 48 hours, no water, no flushing the toilet, no bath, nothing.
Well, we definitely had our share of outages, but yes, we were able to be up on
There was no
generator
denial
power.
of service, though.
We did not shut anything off because we couldn't serve the residents.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great work, thank you.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Next, I believe we have fire.
Yeah, they will, because in anticipation.
Good evening. Cody Johnson, Division Chief of Emergency Management. So I'm fortunate in the fact that I get to deal with the fire department as well as a lot of incredible team members, city team members on the emergency management side of things. So I see some incredible accomplishments come from everybody. So just to provide a broad update, our Emergency Management Planning Committee met a couple days ahead of the storm. You know, we begin our preparation discussions and whatnot, but then we officially opened our Emergency Operations Center on September 26th at 7 in the morning. And we concluded operations at the Emergency Operations Center at 2 o'clock on September 27th. That doesn't mean the support is not still there, just the facility was closed. On the fire side of things, Largo Fire Rescue called 242 residents that was on the special needs evacuation list. That was on the evacuation level A through C. And that resulted in evacuation of only 18 residents to our county shelters. In total, Largo High School housed about 500 evacuees that we were there with Largo PD in an EMS role. So our fire staff, we staffed Largo High School, the two Largo shelters, in conjunction with Largo PD. So Ross Norton and Lellman Exchange remain open and step-down shelters for our displaced residents. And during our 24-hour peak period, the Largo Fire responded to 504 911 calls. Just to put that in perspective, we average about 80 calls a day. So our EOC, we have a fire dispatch room inside of our Emergency Operations Center, and we dispatch 290 calls out of our Emergency Operations Center, and that's for our low priority calls, our wires down, evacuation, low risk evacuation, odor of smoke, trees on fire and whatnot. So, and then 911 calls that the county generated were 214. So our crews were busy, they were hopping, no doubt, and our city manager was there to witness that, you know, the controlled chaos that was going on in the dispatch room. So switching over to our damage assessment teams, they identified numerous homes with storm-related damage. You know, as other staff have identified, the city facilities were minimally impacted. Community development is working diligently on issuing permits, inspecting properties, and developing a reporting structure to keep all informed on the rebuilding process. You know, we're going to continue to assist our residents affected by both Hurricane and Debbie, and we are currently working with FEMA, and we are going to be opening a disaster recovery center tomorrow at our library, and that's they're estimating that's going to be open for about 60 days. So great partnership with FEMA, and hopefully we'll be able to assist of a lot of our residents as well as Pinellas County residents. Currently, Duke says we still have about 116 without power in Largo. And just to give a little insight on those damage assessments, we had, as of right now, 126 residents with major damage or destroyed. We still have to input some data on other homes, but that's where we are as of right now. And I will open it up for questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
Cody, just a question. You say the Disaster Recovery Center, FEMA, at the library?
Yes, sir.
Exactly what is that for?
So the FEMA has opened up a declaration so for individual assistance and public assistance. Both individuals who experience damage can go to the library, sit down with FEMA, they can file their paperwork, and they can get the process started on disaster.gov. And they can do that for individuals, and they can do that for businesses as well.
So this is open to the public?
It is open to the public, yes, sir.
You know what time they open?
I believe 8 o'clock. Same hours as the library. So 8 to 6, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right?
When does that start in there?
Starts tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Very good.
So FEMA's going to move in tomorrow morning. They're going to get everything set up, and then we're going to open the doors officially at 1 o'clock.
And they're going to be there for 60 days.
Up to 60 days, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Great. You can ask a
Sure.
question if you'd like.
Well, I don't have any questions other than if commissioners don't have any other comments. I just want to say that the administration, we're very proud of all our team members and the work that they did. Keep in mind, the community should know our preparation began several days ahead of the storm. Our public works teams were out checking ditches, checking infills and outfalls. Our police department was actively preparing. But I don't want to diminish Assistant Chief Johnson's efforts. He was the leader of our emergency operations team, coordinating with the county and making sure that we were working very closely with the county and all of our sister municipalities in the region to provide an effective response. The managers met with the county administrator on a daily basis to get updates and work at the civilian level, making sure all our entities were coordinated and working together. When the storm hit, we were all working again seamlessly in the midst of the storm at the EOC. Again, everyone working very closely. And following the storm, we continue to work on efforts. So the community should be aware that we're not finished in our response to the storm. If you have any issues, please call us, contact us. We'll put you in touch with the proper authority to help you deal with your damage. This was primarily a storm surge event. Several of our low-lying communities saw significant damage. We'll continue to reach out to work with them on everything from housing to recovering, working with FEMA to recover funds to help build back. So we're not finished. We continue again coordinate with the county on debris disposal and getting our back to normal operating order. But Largo fared very well. Minimal damage to government facilities. We had, as many of the citizens should know, we require all of our city team members to respond to the event, and we literally had only one team member who did not come in. So with 1,000 workers, the response of our team was amazing. And the fact that we were all here contributing across all departments in the city. So again, I want to thank everyone for all the work, and the community should be rest assured that they were well taken care of in the course of this event.
Yeah, thank you. No doubt it's a team effort, and we need to be proud of our team leader, our team members. So, thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention, I get to be a fly on the wall in the EMPC meetings, and that kind of happened after Irma, where I wanted to at least be in the room and be in the conversation. And I'm really impressed with the cooperation across all the departments in the city and on that team, and the professionalism. Do a great job. Congratulations to you on running a great show over there. I know that we had presentations from police and fire and public works, environmental services, stormwater, but everybody had a role. RPA was kind of the host for the team. I saw those folks out early on Friday morning, picking up, clearing sidewalks and stuff, and getting into parks and cleaning them. Library opened their doors as a cooling station, and now for the FEMA stuff. Community development was out checking damage, and engineering, making sure homes were safe to go back into, and that work will continue. And I'm probably forgetting somebody. Finance is making sure that they're working hard. Finance is making sure that you get all your reports in correctly, and so that we get paid back from FEMA for these emergency responses. So everybody's involved, as Mr. Kerp said, and really, really pulled together for the good of the community, and I'm really proud of your efforts. Commissioner Gerard.
Thanks. I did have one question. I had read or heard that the residents at Pinellas Hope were actually housed at Largo High School. Did the folks from Pinellas Hope come over there?
They typically do, and they're typically segregated from the general population. Mm-hmm. So yes, they do come.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about whether they were being separated from that. I just was wondering, do we have an agreement with Catholic Charities for that, or is it just understood?
We do not. The county may, but yeah, we do not.
there's about 200 residents out there who came over to the high school.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they were safe, so.
Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't heed the warning. You know, I think they've learned their lesson, and we're going to be a little bit busier at the shelters next go-round.
Yeah, we should all understand that if you're told to evacuate, evacuate, yeah. And we'll probably talk about that later, but everyone who died in Pinellas County at the storm was in an evacuation zone that they should have left.
Yeah, evacuation level A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's tragic. I'm not making light of it at all, but it's tragic. But some people don't listen, and then they pay. So,
Yeah, they
thanks.
do.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
No question, but a comment. Just wanted to say thank you to your team and everyone in the city. I can tell you at my work, we had a lot of break room talks about how the responses of each city, that my teams live in, and Largo just got rave reviews, amongst anyone I spoke to. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. We'll probably say this again at the end of the meeting, but not everyone will be here, so I want to say it while everyone's here. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Everyone here. Thank you.
I take off my fire hat, and then this is my team.
Yeah, amen. That's awesome. Thank you.
Commissioner Holmes. Thank you.
John, do you know, is FEMA doing an announcement about this recovery center? Do you know how they're promoting that, other than the great audience that we get at this meeting?
Sorry, I'll defer.
So we are pushing that message out ourselves. Kate Oyer's working on that, as well as Pinellas County pushed that out late this afternoon.
Okay.
And that's who I forgot, communications. They were.
Oh, they're incredible, yeah. They're housed in the EOC.
All right, that's all I wanted to know, thank you.
Okay,
Good
just to
job.
give you insight, so this all came to fruition late today, midday today, whether we were going to open up the library or not.
I
So
wonder if
it's,
anybody's contacting their local TV stations and just say, this is there.
yeah,
I mean, it's,
that I don't know, Commissioner.
there's a few of them now. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Very, very good. Appreciate it.
TV stations are in touch with FEMA.
Get out of here the consent docket, please.
Item 3, blanket authorization for Mayor Woody Brown and the Largo City Commission to attend various meetings and events during fiscal year 2025 for which they may be designated to represent the city of Largo. Item 4, approval of the Emergency Medical Services ALS First Responder Agreement with Pinellas County Emergency Medical Services Authority. Item 5, approval of the 2024 Fire Protection Services Agreement between the City of Largo and Pinellas County Fire Protection Authority. Item 6, authorization to renew contract with Tampa Bay Psychology Associates, LLC in the amount of $177,700 to provide mental health services to Largo Fire Rescue and Largo Police Department. Item 7, appointment of Commissioner Christopher Johnson to the Ford Pinellas Board for the term which will begin on January 1st, 2025. Item 8, appointment of David Brennan as a member of the Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board. Item 9, approval of scope and fee with Advanced Engineering and Design for the design of Phase 2 and 2 BMP projects for the Church Creek Resiliency Program in accordance with RFQ number 24-Q-798 in the estimated amount of $225,000. Item 10, approval of change order 3 to scope and fee with McKimmon Creed Incorporated for the sanitary sewer lift station floodplain mitigation project in accordance with RFQ number 24-Q-798 in the estimated amount of $68,045. Item 11, approval of the scope and fee for professional design and engineering services for the Lift Station 24 Force Main Replacement Project by Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated in accordance with the Professional Services Agreement, RFQ number 24-Q-798, in the estimated amount of $88,760. Item 12, approval of standstill agreement between WOP Bel Air LLC, the City of Largo, and Fannie Mae. Item 13, authorization to purchase odor and corrosion control chemicals from Premier Magnesia LLC in the estimated amount of $300,000. Item 14, authorization to purchase various automation products and services from Rexel Electric Supply in the estimated amount of $80,000. Item 15, authorization to purchase repair services from Southern Winding Services Incorporated in the amount of $60,950. Item 16, authorization to purchase pump and repair services from Flight Products from Xylem Incorporated in the estimated amount of $350,000. Item 17, approval of extension of the contract with Southern Automation and Controls for System Integrator Services under bid number 22-B-768 for a 3-year period in the estimated total amount of $525,000. Item 18, authorization for fiscal year 2025 spending for bid number 24-B-775, miscellaneous manhole rehabilitation services agreement to Engineered Coatings Solutions LLC, Engineered Spray Solutions LLC, EnviroWaste Services Group Incorporated, GML Coatings LLC, HydroClean LLC, Inliner Solutions LLC, Jennings Pipelining and Services LLC, Paint and Coatings Incorporated, and Roland (DE) LLC in the amount of $1,802,100. Item 19, award of year one for bid number 24-B-804, sanitary sewer, reclaimed water, and stormwater repair to All American Concrete Incorporated, Gator Grading and Paving LLC, QRC Incorporated, and Roland DE LLC, and authorization for fiscal year 2025 spending in the estimated amount of $3,252,100. Item 20, award of year one for bid number 24-B-805, pavement and roadway infrastructure rehabilitation services to Ajax Paving Industries of Florida LLC, Asphalt Paving Systems Incorporated, and Gator Grading and Paving LLC, and authorization for fiscal year 2025 spending in the estimated amount of $1,790,100. Item 21, award of year one for bid number 24-B-806, trenchless sanitary and storm sewer rehabilitation to BLD Services LLC, Gulf Coast Underground LLC, Inliner Solutions LLC, In Situ Form Technologies LLC, Roland LLC, SAK Construction LLC, and Vortex Services LLC, and authorization for fiscal year 2025 spending in the estimated amount of $1,352,100. Item 22, renewal of RFP number 22-P-763, analytical laboratory services for annual requirements of the wastewater reclamation facility to Eurofins Environment Testing Southeast LLC for the final year of a 2-year option in the estimated amount of $80,000. Item 23, authorization to award RFP number 24-P-810, services agreement in the amount of $100,000 for the Downtown Activation Plan to Kimley Horn Incorporated. Item 24, award of contract number 24-B-809, Southwest Recreation Aquatic Center Bathhouse Renovation Project to Qualis General Contractors LLC for construction in the amount of $510,375 and an owner contingency of $39,625 for an estimated total amount of $550,000. Item 26, authorization to award invitation for bid number 24-B-789, Central Park Performing Arts Center Theater Space Acoustical Enhancements to CII Contracting in the amount of $783,351. Item 27, approval of an interlocal agreement between Forward Pinellas and the City of Largo to update the existing countywide multimodal fee ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the consent docket. I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent docket without commission discussion and including staff background provided in the commission packets.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. And I want to know, is Mr. Brennan, David Brennan, in the audience? Well, thank you for serving on the Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board. We certainly appreciate it, as well as Commissioner Johnson, who will be representing us on Forward Pinellas Board upcoming. So thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 25.
This is pretty easy.
Thank you, Mayor, City Manager, Commissioners. Staff is here for the authorization to proceed with the purchase and installation of a prefab concrete restroom building for the Largo Central Park through Public Restroom Company. That is in an estimated amount of $649,750 in accordance with the Sourcewell contract number 081721 PRM. And staff is available for any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
I have questions.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got 375 square feet per gender. This, when it says here, the purchase and installation of the prefabricated restroom. So when you get this restroom, I gather, we have to put down the slab, or does that include the slab?
This only includes the prefab restroom.
That's only the structure, not the slab.
And this is a two-part. So this would be the prefab building. And then we are seeking in the future, in another commission meeting, the general contractor that would make us full here.
Wait a second. When I read this thing for $649,000, it says right here, the purchase and installation of a prefabricated restroom, okay? And my question is, does that, it's got to go on a slab. It's just not going to be freestanding there on the dirt.
A public restroom does include a slab just for the building itself.
Understood.
As part of the site work, we will be including additional concrete work, sidewalks, and the access to the facility.
Okay, that was my first one. So the slab for the building itself, not any extra around it, but just for the building, that's part of the purchase price here.
That is correct.
The building then, that includes the plumbing inside the building, yes?
It does, up to
Okay.
6 foot. Beyond.
What about the plumbing from the water source to the building? Is that extra, or is that part of the price here?
That will be additional. It'll be part of the site work to prepare the site for the installation of the restroom.
Okay, so the city's still going to have an obligation here above and beyond this for running the plumbing from the source to the building. What about the sewer hookup?
All utilities.
So all
There's
the
electric,
utilities,
yeah.
including the power, that's above and beyond. Do we have any idea what those costs are going to be?
We still have to bid that portion of the project. The site contract is being let. It would be let by the end of the week, going out in Demand Star.
Okay, I mean, understand, I'm in favor of this project, but before I would turn around and approve this, I'd like to know what the total price tag is going to be. Because you've got to run sewer lines, you got to run water lines, you got to run power lines, you're going to have, additional concrete work's going to have to be done. Are we talking about $1 million now on a?
No, sir. The preliminary estimates from the engineered drawings are between $150,000 to $200,000 additional dollars. The total project budget is $1.1 million. We are going to be seeing savings from the project.
Well, you're not going to be saying savings. You might be a little bit under the 1.1 million.
Correct.
I mean, this 649,000, that's only part of it. This whole deal is going to be $1 million.
We're estimating somewhere close to $850,000.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question since we pulled it off. The prefab building, why did we go with prefab building versus traditional construction?
We were trying to minimize the amount of construction in a very busy event space, and the installation of this will be a couple of weeks versus several months.
That's an excellent reason. I have a question about what it looks like. Is it going to look like, will you be able to tell it was prefab?
It's a concrete building. It looks very nice. We do have a picture, I think, that, there you go. This is kind of the rough drawing of the choice that we had. We were able to customize to some extent the look and feel of the building.
Good. Looks like a bathroom. I like it. Thank you. Any other questions?
I'd like to postpone this vote until we get the actual full price on the thing.
That's cool. I move to approve authorization to proceed with the purchase and installation of a prefabricated restroom building for Largo Central Park through Public Restroom Company in the estimated amount of $649,750 in accordance with Sourcewell contract number 081721-PRM.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is resolution number 2402, item number 28.
We also got a grant of $200,000.
Well, they should have been all included.
It is.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Commission. So before going into the details of this proposed transfer of development rights, and since this would be the first example of such a case in the city since 2008, I wanted to go ahead and start off with a little bit of background of the process as a whole. Section 4.7 of the Comprehensive Development Code, in conjunction with the Fort Pinellas countywide rules, state that development rights may be separated from parcels and transferred to other lands that are deemed suitable. It does this by splitting them up, splitting parcels into sending zones and receiving zones. The sending zone, the parcel of land in which development rights are taken from, and the receiving zone, which is the parcel or parcels of land that receive these development rights in excess of what is inherently vested in the property. This is done for reasons such as preservation of environmentally sensitive lands, preservation of historic buildings, or just the utilization of development rights that can't feasibly be utilized on a certain piece of property. Both density in terms of dwelling units an acre and floor area ratio, or commercial building square footage, can be taken from parcels, and the results of a transfer of development right do remain on both properties in perpetuity. And it should also be noted that future changes to the properties would reflect the transfer development rights. So for example, if a sending property loses development rights but is then upzoned to a land use classification that permits higher density, those units that were transferred would be subtracted from the new total. So to start off with the receiving zone for tonight's case, the Water Chase Apartments located at 401 Rosary Road Northeast. It is an 18.03 acre parcel of land that contains both a residential medium and residential office future land use classification. Existing conditions on the site, per the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's Office, indicate 278 existing dwelling units, and the proposal and the reason for this requested transfer of development rights is to convert a vacant office building on the property into 12 additional residential dwelling units. So we'll take a look at the aerial view, and you see it's a little bit hard to see from the aerial, so it's in the black box. That's the area of proposed redevelopment for conversion. And when we look at the split land use, that delineation between the purple ROG and the burnt orange residential medium will be important once we go into the history of the property. And here you can see the street view, and behind those trees there, you can see the building proposed to be converted into residential units. So the important thing to note about this, the Water Chase property, is that it did used to be two separate parcels of land split between those two land use classifications. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, it was originally built as the Atrium Villa Club apartment with 272 units. At the time, this was before the Comprehensive Development Code as we know it today was adopted by the city, and therefore it had our old zoning classification of RM30, which at the time permitted 30 dwelling units per acre. And for the size of the property, this would allow them 471 units at the time, meaning that the development was compliant with regulations at the time of development. Moving on to the ROG half of the property, it's approximately 2.3 acres, and back in the day was also designated RM30 on the City of Largo's old zoning map. The history of development on this site that we have comprehensive records for, began in 1982 with the development of a 6-unit professional office on the southern half of the property. So if you remember that black box on the aerial, the building just south of that was originally developed with, as a 6-unit office. Subsequently, in 1999, a development order was issued in order to convert that office building into 6 apartment units with a mixed office space. But the important thing for this case is the 6 additional units. And at the time, as I mentioned, these were 2 pieces of land. So because in 1999, our Comprehensive Development Code had been adopted, they had their current densities, which they continue to hold today. So at the time, they would have been permitted 34 dwelling units, which at the time was also compliant. So in 1983, when the Comprehensive Development Code was adopted,
we did away with the old zoning regulations and adopted our future land use map, which guides current development standards today. Both the residential office general and the residential medium category both permit 15 dwelling units an acre. And sometime after the conversion into the 6 dwelling units, the two pieces of property were consolidated into one. So when you combine the original 272 with the 6 additional units approved in 1999, the total number of dwelling units on the Water Chase Apartments property was 278 units. Based on the 15 dwelling units per acre, the combined property permits 270 dwelling units by right at 15 units an acre, and therefore the number of units on the site became non-compliant once the two properties were combined. Section 17.5 of the Comprehensive Development Code dictates that no building permits or site plan approvals may be granted that would increase upon an existing nonconformity. So therefore, in order to convert the office building to the north of the site, adding another 12 dwelling units would further that nonconformity and would not be permitted, hence the request for the transfer of development rights. So to talk about the sending zone now, this property is located at 300 Starkey Road. It is a commercial general designated property, which is just under an acre in size. And based on the 24 units an acre allowed on commercial general, the total number of dwelling units available for transfer on the site is 23. The proposal tonight involves a transfer of 20 dwelling units, the first 8 of which would be utilized to bring the site into compliance with the allowable density on the site, therefore removing the nonconformity, with the last 12 units being transferred in order to facilitate the conversion of that existing office building. The 3 available dwelling units will remain on the site, and it should be noted that no non-residential commercial gross floor area will be transferred as part of this request. And here we see an aerial map of the sending zone and a street view of that same site. After staff review, staff did determine that the proposal does fulfill the criteria of Section 4.7 of the Comprehensive Development Code and the Ford-Pinellas countywide rules, and therefore recommend approval of TDR Certificate 24-001 and the companion resolution number 2402. If approved before you tonight, the certificate with the resolution as one of the exhibits must be recorded within the public records of Pinellas County for both the sending and receiving properties. Moving forward from this, in order to convert the office building into the 12 additional units, the property will be required to go through a full-scale site plan in order to obtain a development order, and will have to host a neighborhood information meeting prior to any final approvals being given. With that, that concludes the presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Resolution number 2402, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Largo, Florida, granting the transfer of development rights certificate for VQHS Water Chase LLC and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have one card, Craig Murtha.
Craig Murtha, Largo. I really love this. I like that it's being transferred, that these development rights are being transferred a long distance, because that was always a question in my mind, you know, how far could you transfer these development rights? So now I've got the answer. And because I believe that we should be allowing people to transfer and trade or sell development rights in some of the low-lying areas so that we can move them up to the ridge, to the higher ground. And because I think earlier I said that we should be down zoning some of the low-lying areas, and I misspoke. I don't believe anybody's land should ever be down zoned without compensation. So this would be a great way of, you know, letting people sell development rights. Let's say if you've got a mobile home park or something in a low-lying area and you want to sell off a lot of those development rights, you could still maintain your mobile home park. And I think a lot of these mobile home parks, I think we should allow a lot of these mobile home parks to transition to RV parks, because, I mean, there are some really beautiful RV parks in the state. And I know we don't have a lot of good examples in Largo, we have a few nice ones, but it brings in a lot of tourism, and probably extra bed taxes, and so anyhow, I'm getting a little off subject there, but I don't think we should be so much targeting these mobile home parks that are in low-lying areas for 40 or 50 unit per acre apartment complexes when they're wood frame. A lot of these are wood frame, and if you got 10 or 20 feet hitting the first floor or the second floor, I don't think any of the building would be left. You'd have mold, and the buildings would just blow up and swell up, and it's just crazy. So I would love to see these transfer development rights really worked a lot. I'd love to see more of this. And like this property here, why couldn't we transfer the development rights off of this property into downtown? This would be a perfect example. We need parks. I heard somebody say recently, we got enough parks. That's crazy, because we are building so many apartments, and these people don't have yards. So it's not like we were for the longest time. Everybody had a yard. A lot of people in Largo don't even go to parks. They've got their own yard. That's their park. We've got young families coming here that don't have yards. They won't have yards. 90% of all the new units won't have yards. So we need to have more parks. There's an old metric. I think they said you should have 10 acres for every 1,000 residents. We're nowhere near that. I know a website says something like 640 acres. No way. I counted them up. Unless you're counting medians or maybe county parks or whatever. Even when I counted the lot 14, I was in the 300 and something range. I don't have it with me right now, but I actually have an itemized list of every park in Largo, and no way. Now, if you are going to count county parks, we should say that maybe in the website, counting county parks. I think it's disingenuous. We should look at that. We should inventory that, because Central Park is so busy. I mean, I've never seen a park and a playground as busy as Central Park. Wait until all these units, another 1,000 units within probably reasonable walking distance of Central Park, or a very quick drive are coming. We're talking about lots and lots of children. We need parks. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Robinson.
So my question is on the sending zone, there's going to be 3 dwelling units, development rights there. What else could be developed there?
So, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, there's 2 main sets of development rights that can be transferred off of these properties: the available number of dwelling units you can put on there, or commercial floor area ratio, which is essentially how big of a commercial building can you build. So after this proposed transfer, there would be 3 available units and approximately 24,000 square feet of commercial space that could be built.
Okay, so what's it zoned at now?
Commercial general.
Okay. So that's my biggest concern. I just don't want, the thing is that area that we're transferring the rights from has been an empty lot for, I think I used to play soccer on there when I was before Belcher Soccer Complex was built when I was a kid. But so it's, for as long as I can remember, there's been an empty lot there. And I just, it's a blight. So I would like to see at some point, something being able to be developed there. And if my concern was that if we're transferring all the rights off of there to the apartments, then, it's going to continue to be an empty lot. So I'm in favor of, I live across the street from these apartments, so I'm in favor of seeing that development over there as well. I think it's a great idea. The office building that's there is also a blight on that property. So I'm, happy to see that they're moving forward with that. So thank you for addressing that. I have been worried about that since I got the door knocker a few months ago. So thank you.
Thank you. I had a question. Mr. Murtha kind of mentioned it. Is there any, other than being in the city of Largo, is there any distance requirement or adjacent level requirement?
So at that time, at that point, it really kind of defers to the Fort Pinellas countywide rules, and there are specific criteria. For example, back in 2008, when we did the last transfer of development rights, it was within one of our CRDs. The countywide rules do have certain specifications as to if you're in an activity center, it opens it up a little bit more to transfer those rights within the same CRD. However, because neither of these properties are within a CRD, it's a little bit more difficult to find those lands that are available, because as an example, one of the standards that are outlined in the countywide rules is that if it's not in one of those special activity centers or located in one of our CRDs, for example, it can't be a developed property transferring development rights. So that's why leading up to this, it did take a while for the applicant to find a suitable site that met all of those requirements.
All right, thank you. Do you know the, square footage of the office building that's going to be apartment building?
I believe it's approximately, I can actually try to find that for you.
I thought I had read it, but I couldn't find it on my second or third time through.
I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Okay, maybe I saw it on the property appraiser's site. Okay.
So, actually, I found it. It's approximately 19,000 square feet, Mayor.
Good. And lastly, you mentioned something that I thought was interesting, and this kind of goes to a different parcel, but you mentioned that if either parcel gets reclassified or rezoned, or there's a Tri-City plan laid over top of it that might afford more density, they're not held by this. They're not held down by this. It just is subtracted from the additional density they might get. Is that correct?
So I'll use an example. If the sending property, which currently is now CG and allows 24 units an acre, if it were to go up to the next highest land use, residential high, which allows 30 units per acre, once that reclassification occurs, it would still be, you'd still subtract the 20 units that were transferred.
Understand that. My question is around the Pinecrest Golf Course. The development units were stripped from that property to develop Pinecrest Senior Facility right next door. And my understanding was that no development rights can ever be put back on that, even if that parcel becomes part of the Medical Arts District and affords a much higher density. Is that the case, or is that wrong?
So my understanding for this...
You can research it if you don't know an answer.
Right, I think that I can look into that further for you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Yeah. I know we looked into this some years back, and I can't give you the details, but I do recall that when we looked in it some years ago, what had transpired with Pinecrest Golf Course, they transferred, the end result of the transfer under the Fort Pinellas countywide rules was that property had no remaining development rights. Now, we can go back and recreate what we did some years back and figure out exactly the details, but I do know that was the conclusion when somebody else was trying to look at developing the golf course.
Yeah, I understand that. And if they transferred 23 residential units from this parcel to the other apartments, they would have no remaining residential development rights unless it was upgraded to a higher density residential classification. And then you'd subtract 23.
Right. We looked at whether the commission could take any action on the Pinecrest Golf Course property to give it development rights. And again, I don't remember the details,
Okay.
but I know we looked at that, and conclusion was there could not be any action that the commission could take. There was, and we can find this document, there was a document recorded by signed by the then owners of the property, that is recorded in official records that indicated that they had no development rights remaining and could not be granted.
It just struck me as different than that situation.
Right.
And so, okay.
I understand.
I appreciate it.
It was different, but I do know that we looked at it and all those angles, but we can certainly go back if you would like, Mayor, and
That's all right. I'll
give you the details.
Thank you.
If I
Commissioner
could-
Gerard.
Oops.
Oh, please, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I did want to clarify, there was a countywide rules change recently, fairly recently, that actually gives a little bit more flexibility to the TDR process and the density averaging process. So some remnant density and intensity can remain. There's just a little bit more flexibility for local governments, so that may be what you're picking up on with this TDR.
Okay,
Does that apply to previously TDRs?
Yeah, that
And I
would be a
know
different story for
Whit's here, you can help
Pinecrest.
us if we need it, but that doesn't apply to previously.
I don't think so.
approved
That would be like a
TDRs.
current TDR we're processing, I believe. We'll look into that.
That's right. You lost me at TDR. So we'll, Commissioner Gerard.
Yeah, I believe there's a difference between transfer of density, development rights, and density averaging anyway. So there's quite a bit of a difference. And density averaging, they have to be contiguous properties and a whole lot of other stuff. But that's not my question. My question is this the final stop for the transfer of development rights for these properties. In other words, once we approve, if we approve this resolution, it doesn't have to go to any other body for any more
Correct.
review or approval. This is it.
That's
So-
it, and it gets recorded on the property, so
Okay.
it'll go to Pinellas County.
Yeah, because Fort Pinellas got mentioned a few times, and Witt's in the audience, so we can ask him, you know, how do you feel about it? But we don't have to ask him that, so that's great. So this is it, and it's a done deal however we vote right now.
That's correct.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Go ahead.
Well, I move to approve Resolution 2402 and the certificate for the transfer of development rights, TDR 24-001, to allow the transfer of 20 residential dwelling units from the sending property at 300 Starkey Road to the receiving property at 401 Rosary Road Northeast.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much.
You made Witt happy.
Next is ordinance number 2025-02.
That's a good guy.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Staff is requesting approval on second reading of ordinance 2025-02 to donate a residential lot located at 304 4th Avenue Southwest to Clearwater Neighborhood Housing Services, doing business at Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services, in order to construct one single-family home to sell to a first-time home buyer that will qualify and be income eligible for such. There have been no changes since first reading, and staff recommends approval.
Ordinance number 2025-02, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, authorizing the conveyance of the real property described as Lot 9, Grove Heights addition to Largo, according to the map or plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 9, page 35, Public Records of Pinellas County, Florida, to Clearwater Neighborhood Housing Services, DBA Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing, providing an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Any questions?
I move to adopt ordinance number 2025-02 on second and final reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is item number 30, resolution number 2399.
Good evening. Presentation pulled up here. So the purpose of this resolution is to authorize the issuance of tax-exempt governmental debt. We're going to go through. Previously, the city has discussed this a couple different times. We met at a work session on June 11th, and the Horizon Project supplemental funding brief was presented by several different departments. This was based on updates as well as the information for the contract that was awarded in August 2022. So back at that time, we knew that we were going to come back for an additional borrowing. We borrowed at the right time for the original bonds issuance, but it was also during the time of immense inflation. So this summer, we passed ordinance number 2024-59, which was required by the city charter authorizing the issuance of debt at the July 16th meeting. So after that time, we solicited for proposals from banks, and today we're bringing the resolution for the recommendation of the tax-exempt portion. So again, as we talked about previously, in the future, we will be looking at doing a future taxable portion to finish the remaining retail piece of City Hall, as well as any additional tenant improvement dollars that are decided upon. So part of our request for proposals from banks, we did a solicitation, and based on wastewater loan that we solicited for last year, we had some criteria that we adjusted slightly. So we were looking for a 20-year interest rate, our fixed interest rate non-taxable loan with a 10/1/2020 or 2044 maturity. We did propose that we would prefer to have an early payoff option after 10 years. So that would be in the event that rates dropped or we wanted to refinance the debt. But we also said we would consider other options. And we wanted to have biannual level debt service payments so they weren't fluctuating. So this time we received 4 different banks proposing for the loan, and it was a total of 7 different options. So several regions, and TD Bank gave us different options. But we had Regions, JP Morgan Chase, TD Bank, and Sterling Webster. And the city has had loans in the past with Regions, JP Morgan, Chase, and TD Bank. So these included varying interest rates and early payoff options and different requirements. Some of them being when we submit our audited financial statements to them, there are a bunch of different criteria. We were looking for some of the specifics. So I've created a summary at the high level of the different proposals that we received. The regions, A, B, and C, are because they gave us options with regards to payoff timeline. So option A was a 10-year payoff, which is what we were requesting. So that would be the lowest calculated interest rate versus option B was a 7-year payoff with no penalty, and C was a 5-year. So again, we were requesting a 10-year option. JP Morgan, there was what you call a mandatory 10-year put date, which would mean we would have to refinance at 10 years. We wanted the option to refinance if it was beneficial for us. So the regions was also one that was locked. It was pegged to the 5-year U.S. Treasury until it was locked in. The other ones were stated interest rates, and I'll go over that a little bit in the next slide. So, of course, this is in front of my thing to see. So the total interest over the life of the loan for the recommended proposal is that $8.7 million. And the first line, Regions A, and again, this looking at the second line with the locked-in interest rate amount, Regions was not the lowest proposer, but it did meet the requirements of what the city was asking for in our solicitation. So as I mentioned, the first option, Regions A, is the one that we were recommending. It has our discretion at the 10-year payoff. There isn't a penalty. That interest rate was pegged to the 5-year U.S. Treasury until it was locked in. And again, that came out to be a total of 3.73% interest. And for reference, the loan that we issued last year for the wastewater capital improvement projects was 4.27%. So they are our current banking services provider for our operating relationship. We do have 2 additional loans outstanding with them right now. So this is just a summary sheet of what our governmental debt would be after this issue, as well as our annual payment, including our debt service. So the last line on there, that would be the region's new issue. The annual payment would be $1.461 million. In our budget for 2025, we had budgeted a total of, I want to say, 1.56. So there's about, it was 1.52. It was a $64,000 savings from what we budgeted. We planned at the 4.2% because, again, when we're preparing the budget, starting, the time frame on that, and we wanted to make sure we were conservative and not having to come back to do an amendment. So just also for informational purposes, I've provided a schedule of our total outstanding wastewater debt, as well as what our rates are on those loans, annual interest payment, and maturity dates. So with that being said, staff is available, as well as representatives from Bryant Miller Olive Bond Council, who have helped us come up with this resolution for any questions.
Resolution number 2399, a resolution of the City of Largo, Florida, parentheses, the issuer, authorizing the issuance of a not-to-exceed $20,500,000 capital improvement revenue note, Series 2024, to finance and refinance, including through reimbursement, the cost of the acquisition, design, construction, and equipping of capital improvements to various projects located within the city of the issuer, and to pay associated transactional costs, providing that such note shall be a limited obligation of the issuer payable solely from non-ad valorem revenues budgeted and appropriated as provided herein, providing for the rights, securities, and remedies for the owner of such note, making certain covenants and agreements in connection therewith, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have one card, Craig Murtha.
Sorry to be talking so much, but I haven't been here in a couple months, so I'm making up for it. One of the things I noticed in this building, it seems like there's just so many what I consider to be extravagant features. Especially in a city where people are just 50% of the people are getting by. You know, I figured 88 or 84 million or whatever it is, that we're talking about $1,000 per person. It's inconceivable, you know, if you look at 84,000 people and 84 million, it's about $1,000 per person. And, you know, at this stage, instead of borrowing more money, and I know you're going to have to borrow some money, but I wonder if there's anything that you're borrowing money for now that could be cut. I know there was some stuff that came up a couple of months ago, and I haven't paid attention in a couple of months either, so I've just been preoccupied with stuff. But so maybe you've already cut some stuff, like that stage that was pretty expensive, and I thought, God, portable stage would be so much better, because it's movable too. And you know, I don't know what you pay for a portable stage, but it's got to be a heck of a lot less than that. The Seminole City Center uses a portable stage, and it's so nice because the musicians can bounce up and down on it because it's metal and plywood. Concrete stages are tough on the knees, and a lot of musicians are not young these days, you know, and which is kind of scary because where are we going to get all the new talent? But so I feel like that stage, maybe we should hold off on that. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe you're already taking care of that. But so yeah, I guess that's the thing. And you know, I guess it's way too late for this. But 88,500 square feet just for the city hall alone. 19,500 square foot of retail space, which I've got no problem with that. But 88,500 for 200 employees. You know, I did some research on it, and online they say that you need about 75 to 150 square feet per employee. So let's go with 150 square feet. 200 employees, that's 30,000 square feet. Makes me wonder, where's the other 58,000 square feet going? So the reason why I bring that up is not to, you know, make trouble, but I wonder if maybe some other departments that aren't planned for that building could maybe go into that building. I mean, this might be a dumb suggestion, because I know nothing about police work, but maybe is there some administrative police employees that can go in that building? Maybe so we reduce the size of a new police station that we would need. But I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of synergies involved with having everybody in one place with police, so that could be a dumb idea. But then again, there might be synergies by having some of the administrative staff in City Hall. So I think that's something for somebody who knows a lot more about police work to look at, and not a lot more. I know you have experts and all that. I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, so I just... That's it. I'm just hoping that maybe we can cut a little bit and not have to borrow so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I saved 10 seconds.
Any other questions? Commissioner Gerard.
Rebecca, can you pull up the chart again that shows the different banks and their proposals? I'm wondering about the TD Bank A.
You can help me back there. I only know how to send it to the board. I don't know how to get it to hold.
Fundamentally, I think TD Bank A had an interest rate of 3.71 or 3.70 or something like that, and the closing costs were less too. And not that that's going to change the world, but can you tell me how the decision was made for Regions as opposed to TD Bank? What was it that disqualified TD Bank?
So in this proposal from TD Bank, there were also caveats that with regards to any time, we could have paid off early anytime with a yield and maintenance fee. So it was 1% of, I forget the exact calculation, so 3.7% was the annual interest rate, but there would have been an additional cost in order for us to have an early payoff. So that 3.7% wouldn't have been what we would have paid over 10 years to pay off early.
And so what it would do, it would push it over the expense of just going with Regions is what I'm guessing that was your decision.
You know, in finance, the team that looked at the proposals, we do like things that are pegged to other things for our fixed rate. So it was based off of, you know, by the time we were locking in an interest rate, which you have to do within 30 days of our proposed closing, which is October 15th, knowing that the Fed cut rates, that rate had dipped down, as you could tell. So some of those other options would have been locked in at that rate that was originally stated. So, and as I mentioned, the 10-year payoff, we really, you know, have no intention at this point of paying off the debt early, but that's always an option, and we wanted to make sure that we, as the city, were looking ahead to say if rates dropped to where they were in 2020, we could take advantage of that at that time.
Okay. And so we'll be making semi-annual payments to Regions.
Yeah, so in fiscal year 2025, we'll only have one payment. The second payment will be due October 1st of fiscal year 26.
Okay, all right. And just as a little note, because I get picayune that way, I was always taught that biannual means every 2 years, and semi-annual means twice a year. But I've had people argue with that, so when I saw biannual payments, it clicked something in my head that just made me be a nerd, so thank you. I can be a nerd a lot, you know.
Any other questions or grammar criticisms?
No more criticism. I move to approve resolution number 2399.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
And if I just make a note, that is your last action with regard to this note. So the mayor, city clerk, and myself will be signing documents, and this will close on the 15th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is item number 31.
Good evening. This is the approval of the reapportionment of the Forward Pinellas Board. By way of background, Forward Pinellas is the regional organization that coordinates countywide land use and transportation planning that supports the 25 local governments in Pinellas County. And in doing so, it functions in two capacities. One is as the Pinellas Planning Council, or PPC, and the other as the Pinellas County Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO. The Forward Pinellas Board is now comprised of 13 members representing the municipal governments, the Pinellas County Commission, and PSTA, Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority. The governor is required to periodically review the membership composition of each regional MPO in conjunction with the decennial census, in this case the 2020 census, and to reapportion the MPO's board as necessary. Based on this, on September 13th, 2023, the Forward Pinellas Board unanimously voted to adopt a resolution approving a reapportionment plan. That plan was subsequently transmitted to the governor, and he approved it. The plan reapportions the board from the current 13 members to 19 members in order to reflect increased population and to provide for better rotation times for the smaller governments who don't each occupy a seat. The city of Largo retains its single seat under the reapportionment plan. As a result of the governor's approval, it's now necessary to amend the agreement, the interlocal agreement for the creation of the Pinellas County MPO. All local governments within Pinellas County, as well as PSTA and the Florida Department of Transportation, are required signatories of this agreement. Each entity with seats on the board, including Largo, have 60 days from the date of the governor's letter, which would be October 7th, 2024, to do two things. Make an appointment to the new board, and that was done earlier this evening when Commissioner Johnson was appointed, and approve the relevant amendment to the interlocal agreement for the creation of the Pinellas County Metropolitan Planning Organization to include the new reapportionment. Accordingly, staff has provided the agreement for the City Commission and is recommending that the Commission approve the amended agreement.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Any questions?
I move to approve an amendment to the interlocal agreement for the creation of the Pinellas County Metropolitan Planning Organization, reappointment of the Forward Pinellas Board. Reapportionment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Bland, for being here for the appointment of Commissioner Johnson, and this item, I guess, too.
Did we make Whit happy?
Yeah.
Next item is item number 32.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commission. The items before you propose to amend the City of Largo Code of Ordinances and Comprehensive Development Code to update standards related to the regulation of alcohol. Both amendments are intended to further advance the city towards its goal of identified in the strategic plan of establishing an active, interconnected downtown with unique recreational options. Through analysis of the existing codes, staff have identified that current locational restrictions may deter businesses from establishing these opportunities. Therefore, this amendment aims to reduce barriers, modernize regulations, and resolve minor inconsistencies between the two codes, thereby promoting economic growth and dense development in downtown Largo. The first portion of this presentation will provide an outline of only the proposed amendments to the Code of Ordinances. While the State of Florida Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms oversees alcohol license approvals, local governments can regulate the locational standards and operational hours for establishments serving or selling alcohol. In Largo, permissible locations depend on the type of license. Businesses with alcohol package sales or APS licenses could include grocery stores and convenience stores. Businesses with consumption on premises or COP licenses could include pubs and wine bars. And businesses with special restaurant or SRX licenses are for restaurants whose sales are over 51% food. Currently, establishments located outside of the community redevelopment districts providing alcohol for consumption on premises must be located at least 300 feet away from churches, child care facilities, or public school sites. Staff are proposing to keep the distance separation from religious institutions and increase the separation from public or private elementary schools, middle schools, and secondary schools to 500 feet to align with state statutes. In the community redevelopment districts, alcohol serving establishments must also maintain distance from churches, child care facilities, and schools. Additionally, businesses holding 4 COP license or a liquor license are prohibited from locating within 150 feet of another business with a 4 COP license. Analysis of regulations in other municipalities with active downtowns shows that this distance separation between 4 COP licensed businesses is uncommon. Therefore, staff propose to remove this requirement while keeping the existing distances from religious institutions and updating the school separation to 500 feet as mandated by state statutes. Lastly, the current code specifies that certain city-owned properties permit the sale of alcohol. This amendment proposes adding Horizon West Bay and Ulmer Park as permitted locations. With the proposed amendments to the Code of Ordinances outlined, I will now transition to discuss the proposed changes to the Comprehensive Development Code. To minimize future amendments, staff recommend making references in the CDC to specific COO standards more general. For instance, rather than specifying exact distances, the CDC would direct readers to Chapter 4 of the COO. The amendment also clarifies regulations for microbreweries, microdistilleries, and regional breweries. It specifies that conditional use reviews for deviation from distance separations apply only to establishments serving alcohol on site, as there are no distance requirements for off-site consumption. The revised language aligns with definitions and allowable uses in CDC Chapter 20 and Table 6.1. Staff recommend approval of both ordinance number 2025-03 and 2024-43 to update standards relating to alcohol in the Code of Ordinances and Comprehensive Development Code. The proposed amendment to the CDC was presented before the Planning Board on September 5th, 2024, where it received a vote of 4-0 approval. If approved this evening by the City Commission, the items would be scheduled to be heard at a second reading on November 19th, 2024. This concludes the presentation, and staff are available for any questions. Thank you.
Ordinance number 2025-03, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending the City of Largo Code of Ordinances, Chapter 4, Alcoholic Beverages by amending Sections 4-1, 4-2, and 4-3 to amend the distance separation requirement from establishments that sell alcoholic beverages from schools by authorizing the sale of alcoholic beverages for consumption on premises at Horizon West Bay and Ulmer Park by providing microbreweries, microdistilleries, and regional breweries located within the community redevelopment districts an option to reduce the required distance separation from religious institutions through a conditional use procedure to eliminate the required separation requirement in the community redevelopment districts between establishments possessing a 4 COP alcohol license, providing for severability, to create Section 4-4 to establish definitions, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
I have no cards on this one.
Any questions? Commissioner Gerard.
In the CRD, we're proposing that we would readjust the distance between a 4 COP and a school, right? To 500 feet, was that it?
Yes.
To be consistent with outside. So if a 4 COP establishment opens up in the CRD, and it's operating, and then a school opens up within that 500-foot distance, obviously you can't make the establishment leave, right? What if they want to sell to a new owner? Do we know what would happen then? Because they would be grandfathered because they were already there, but let's just say the owner of this establishment wanted to sell, and we retire and sell to somebody else. Do we have any idea what would happen then?
I believe they retain, so if that alcohol license is already there and it's remaining with that specific parcel or building, it can stay there once the use is abandoned, once that goes away. If they stop using it for a for-cop business, then at that point, they couldn't reestablish if it's not meeting the locational criteria.
So the license goes with the address, or it doesn't go with the ownership?
It goes with the ownership, but it could transfer to the new owner, so
And
they
there
can
wouldn't
transfer
be-
the same
right.
business. Yeah,
And so their rights to remain would stay the same?
that could happen.
Okay, thank you.
I kind of had a similar question. Is there anything that precludes, like charter schools these days can kind of pop up anywhere? Is there anything that restricts them from opening within 500 feet? Like, does it go both ways, or can they choose to open up closer? That might be a attorney question.
Yeah, that might be an attorney question. I know that there's been some recent legislation regarding charter schools and that kind of thing, so I'll defer.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm not aware of any state statute that would prohibit a charter school from opening up within 500 feet of an existing.
And making that existing business non-compliant, essentially.
Again, that business would be grandfathered in, so only if they stopped using it, outside alcoholic beverage, would they lose the right to maintain the site.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate all the work done on this. I mean, I do recall some instances where there was a business wanting to open up in downtown, and they were told they couldn't do what they wanted to do because the guy next door got there first. And it was exactly what we wanted to see in downtown, so I'm glad that some of this is getting taken care of. Any other questions?
I move to approve ordinance number 2025-03 on first reading and schedule a second reading and public hearing on November 19th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next is item number 33.
Ordinance number 2024-43, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending the City of Largo Comprehensive Development Code by amending Tables 6-1 and 6-2 to reflect the amended distance separation requirements for establishments selling alcoholic beverages set forth in the City Code of Ordinances by amending Sections 15.13 and Section 15.14 regarding distance separation requirement for microbreweries, microdistilleries, and regional breweries, and providing for conditional use approval of shorter distance separations from religious institutions, providing for applicability, providing severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards?
I have one card for this one. Craig Murtha.
I think he left.
We'll give them 2 more seconds to come running in.
1, 2.
All right. Any questions from the commission?
I move to approve ordinance number 2024-43 on first reading and schedule a second reading and public hearing on November 19th, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. The next is an item that's not on the agenda, but it was added. It's the eliminating permit fees for storm-related repairs. And I know that staff has talked about bringing this in a future meeting. I just would like to do something official here so that it can happen now. You know, these people are trying to fix their homes and fix their roofs and fences and stuff. And some of the fixes require permits, and I know in the past we've eliminated the fees for those permits if they're storm-related. So I guess I would like a motion or like some discussion about whether we should do that with this storm as well. Commissioner Robinson.
No, I fully agree that we should do it now. I mean, we have, I know 2 or 3 times recently that we've had to do similar ordinances. So is something, can we just copy and paste and put in this year?
Yes, so I think that certainly can be done. I think the motion should just direct staff to bring a resolution to us at our next meeting that would retroactive go to today or yesterday, whatever it was.
That works.
Yesterday probably, it was Monday. So I just would like to take action now as opposed to waiting for 2 weeks.
I agree.
So if we're asking, I should have pressed my parliamentary.
That's all right, you're good.
So if we're asking or instructing staff to draft a resolution that would be retroactive, we should also notify people who are applying for permits that you don't have to pay a fee now. You can get your permit now, but you don't have to pay a fee, right?
I think that's right, but the attorney's got his finger on the button, so.
So you press the parliamentary.
I see Cheryl getting up there, but I believe that staff is already waiving the fees for permits for repairs due to hurricane damage. You want to confirm that, Cheryl?
Yes, that is correct. We did have a applicant that came in today who was in a very serious situation and had been severely flooded. It was very clear that it was a Helene related. So in order to get her processing of her permit started, we did not require the payment of the permit fee. We are working on the proposed resolution. We just were not able to bring it to you tonight for consideration. We do want to make some changes to potentially, if the city attorney concurs. We do think that the amount of time that we're going to need for the waiver of those fees for this particular storm will be longer than the last several that we have brought to you previously. So we want to be sure that we are proposing language that gives staff enough time to waive those permits and gives applicants enough time to, they're going to need to meet with their insurance adjusters, they're going to need to get bids from contractors. All of that for this particular storm is going to take much longer than it has for previous storms.
But like fences and those types of things people are doing today.
They are.
So I think that's the mayor's point, right?
Right,
So,
and we'd like to waive those too, and again, keep things really simple. We don't want you to have to prove to us that your fence came down in the storm. The larger permit fees related obviously to making major repairs to your building, obviously we would respectfully suggest that we should have some documentation and we should know that those repairs are related to Helene, but we do want to very quickly and easily be able to process permits for both roofs and for fences.
Good, and my intention of doing this is to, if we have agreement up here, to understand that you can say, we passed this motion to direct staff to do this. So there's support on this commission.
Right.
So they're not, thinking, well, there's a resolution we're going to see in a couple weeks, and you might get charged later if we deny that. That's not going to happen if we pass it today.
And we appreciate
Or could,
that
I guess,
support.
but-
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Cheryl, what kind of documentation are we talking about here?
Well-
Photos, or are we going to send somebody from community development or code enforcement out to take a look at it, or what?
So what is happening now, as Chief Cody Johnson reported earlier in the evening, our teams from both the Building Division and Community Standards have already been out to what we believe are all of the structures that have been damaged.
100 and some structures, I think.
Right. Those were just the ones that had major or severe damage. So we also have other lists of properties that had smaller amounts of damage. We have documentation where we may have found a tree down, but the house appears to be fine. So we will be using that documentation, but would also be open to other documentation. There could be some parcels or properties that we did miss in both our windshield survey, and then these last 2 days, we have been going back out to do more detailed notes, particularly of the properties that had severe damage. So we feel like we have a lot of good documentation internally already. We have opened, just so we can track them, we have created a code enforcement case for each of those addresses. So again, our building permit techs will be able to look into the system and be able to confirm that, yes, we had eyes on this structure. We do believe this damage is related to Helene.
That sounds good. Sounds very thorough. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mayor, would you like some assistance in
I can't make a motion, so I'd like you to assist one of these other folks. That'd be great.
Based upon the discussion, I suggest you might want to consider the following motion: to approve the waiver of permit fees for repairs due to damage caused by Hurricane Helene, and direct staff to bring to the October 17th meeting resolution confirming that waiver.
That's 2 weeks then.
Right, the waiver will start now, but the resolution will come back to you on the 17th.
Okay.
You're approving the waiver of the fee starting today.
And they're already waiving in anticipation anyhow, so.
Yeah, that sounds like a good motion if somebody would like
I'll
to
make
make it.
that, I'll make that motion exactly the way Alan read it.
That's so moved.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are professional.
Mr. Zimmett, anything this evening?
I do have something tonight. So I have two new members of our team to introduce to you. Sitting over next to Assistant City Manager Luke tonight is Sarah Johnston, who will be my backup at City Commission meetings, and she gets to step into the fray immediately, as I will not be here next meeting on the 15th, and so when you consider that resolution, Sarah will be sitting in this seat. And then also, we have with us today Laura Carrera, who today Laura was sworn in, and I won't embarrass her by showing the photograph of her getting sworn in today, because she won't let me forget it. But Laura was sworn in today as a new member of the Florida Bar, and she will be assuming Noah Dyker's duties in terms of code enforcement, working with community standards, attending the Code Enforcement Board and Special Magistrate, and she'll also be attending the Planning Board, and she will have office hours on Thursdays. So I appreciate those two stepping up and helping us out.
Very good. Thank you and welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Commissioner Johnson.
I think I said all my thank yous earlier, so I'll waive my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
Yeah, what he said.
All right. Vice Mayor Gerard.
I want to congratulate the staff once again, echoing what Commissioner Johnson and Commissioner Holmes just echoed, for an outstanding job during this very, very fierce storm. I want to remind folks that we're still in hurricane season, and there are already disturbances occurring in the very same place where Helene was born. So if you're told to evacuate, just get out. You leave for a day or two, just get out. We don't need any more deaths. I also want to take a moment to wish all of my Yiddish mishpacha a Shana Tova, New Year's is coming up this week, and I pray for peace this year. Enough. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Robinson.
Thank you. So, yeah, same as everyone else, thank you to every person, every staff member here at the City of Largo that spent, a lot of long hours, probably most of them away from their family, and, spending their time making sure that our city continued to run effectively and efficiently. So, big thank you to all of them. It takes a lot, it takes a lot to step up and do those things in those times. So, yeah, thank you for that. Just two other things completely unrelated to that. One, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Abby, my daughter, who turned 16 yesterday. So if you're driving around, careful. Just public service message. And then also happy anniversary, 26 years to my wife, Scarlett. She is the reason I'm here today, so thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Holt, Commissioner me, no, I'm next. Right? We're out of people other than me. Same thing with the staff, the great attitude and the hard work, it's commendable, and thank you for everything you've done over the last, really 2 weeks for some people, but the last 4 or 5 days. And since the finance director is here still, I'll say happy fiscal new year. So today is the first day of the fiscal year. Mr. Kerb.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to, again, thank our citizens for all their hard work during this event and remind them that now is the time to be diligent for those who might seek to take advantage of the storm. Please check with the county website, the sheriff's website, as well as the city. Contact the city. Do work with licensed vendors when at all possible. If you have any suspicions or concerns, please contact the city, and we will do our best to try to help you through that situation. The diligence is important during this time.
Thank you. Any action items?
I had one, a request by Mayor Brown that staff research whether a permit is required when a tree is blown down by the storm and ensure that the same information is given to all callers.
I think we got the answer on that one. But the information disseminated amongst folks that are answering phones would be good.
Can I interrupt one more time? There is a question that does come up as to who's responsible for the tree removal when it crosses property lines. So a tree on property A falls and it's on property B, and people get into fights about, well, who's supposed to pay for this tree to be removed? And there's a question about whether was the tree damaged before, was it a healthy tree or what? Is there a way that we can just clarify this and maybe put it up on the city website?
We have 3 attorneys in the room, so we probably can.
So we can be here for months.
So,
it's not our fight, is my guess.
Mayor, my concern is that the answer to that question on the Ohio bar exam is different than the one on the Florida bar exam, so I defer to the city attorney.
We still have 3 attorneys here.
And I know the answer is different in Florida than it is in North Carolina. In North Carolina, you get 1 free tree fall.
I'm going to keep that for.
They need that. They need that in North Carolina right now.
I haven't had to look at that issue for quite some time. I don't know if it's changed, but I'm sure Ms. Carrera will love to dive into that.
It wasn't a question on the bar?
I took the bar a long time ago. It might have been in July, I don't know.
Before trees?
That's funny. When he took the bar, it was 2 pages and it was multiple choice.
That hurts.
All right, so maybe seek an answer.
Yeah, we'll get an answer on that if there's a definitive answer.
Appreciate it. Meeting is adjourned.